quiet, so you better start making some noise. Right. We cannot be quiet, can we? No. All right, now, we know what this is all about. Fight, fight, fight. Okay. Fight, fight, fight. All right. So as I already stated, I am LaDonna Sims, and I am with the Fort Wayne chapter of the A. Philip Randolph Institute here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's been around since the early 70s. The organization has been around since 1965, but don't get it twisted. They've been involved quite often. And they, you know, with some of the things that are being changed right now are some of the very things that we fought hard for a long time ago. And here we are trying to fight for those same rights that we tried to establish way back in the early 60s. And fighting really hard. And now we have people that are in control that I hope none of you standing in this office selected these people and thought you were going to get something different. But if you did, now you know. So here we go. You want the same things that we want, regardless of what your voting rights said. You want the same thing. But way back when, we have these blacks, you know, they make up less than 30% of the United States Postal Service. Less than 30%. But yet this was a pathway for blacks to be able to get to the middle class in the Postal Service. And it still is a pathway, but it will no longer be if we allow those that do not know anything about people that are on the, have the boots on the ground, those people that have all the money and trying to make the divide greater than what it already is. If you think that it's going to be okay, which I don't believe any of you in this audience do, if you think that it's going to be okay for them to privatize, you already know what it means when it gets privatization. They're trying to do that with everything. And now here they're talking about the Postal Service. You see them out there working all the time. A lot of us take pride in them saying that they work no matter what the weather. And they do. We take a lot of pride in that. And some of us still want to complain when we get the little bit of increase on the little postage stamp, but you know what? Your gas costs more than that, and definitely your eggs. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention, and blacks are really in need of this, as everyone else is. And I'm just identifying blacks right now, and I'm not taking away from anyone else. But the blacks, we really need this to be able to help us be uplifted so that we can continue to get back to our communities as we do, so that we can be able to send our children to school so that they can become educated, so that they can make choices. We want to be able to make sure that we can make good advice and good sound decisions when it comes to our medical decisions. And we want to make sure that we continue with this fight. And as A. Philip Randolph has done forever and continue to do, along with a lot of other constituency groups. You have the NAACP, you have the Urban League, you have so many that are even hidden behind all those forefronts. And we have all of you. We want to continue with this fight. We want to make sure that we have people being elevated. Just some of the little bit of history. You know, back in the mid-cities, the leadership increased in 3 major cities, and you probably can guess which ones they were when it came to the postal workers. New York, Chicago, and LA. They were all 3 headed by black postmasters. And you know, you had back where people didn't even want us, they wanted to continue to keep blacks segregated from the white workforce. But those that worked together always knew that being together, you know, diversity is a bad word today, but diversity is everything. Diversity is in everything. And if you don't have it, because not one group made us who we are. We all made us who we are, and we have to continue with that fight. And I know our crowd needs to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and wherever you go, you need to shout it out to let them know, you think that this fight doesn't belong to you? Yes, it does. It belongs to all of us, and we do not want to lose it, and we don't want that wage gap to continue to disappear, which is going to happen if we don't fight, and we cannot be intimidated. And a lot of us get intimidated. You know, I used to tell my students all the time, you know, I don't care what position you have, who will you be when you no longer have that position? You need to learn how to define positions and don't let the positions define you. You need to make sure that when you are reaching up to a higher level that you're bringing somebody else along with you. You need to make sure that you are passing along to the younger people the tools that you already have and not say, oh, you know what, I don't want to teach them. Nobody taught me, but that's why you should teach them. You saw how hard it was for you. So you want to make sure that we reach out to our young people. We want to make sure we reach out to all of them. We want to make sure that they know that it is us working together, whether we're black, brown, red, yellow, purple, blue, green, whatever. We want to make sure that we are all reaching out, we are helping each other. And so I want to encourage us to respect the United States Postal Service. I want to encourage us to support one another. I don't care what union you belong to, what union you don't belong to, whatever. And if you don't belong to a union, if there's an opportunity to belong to a union, you need to belong to it. Because that's why your wages are increasing, because of union workers getting out there fighting so that you can be able to have a higher wage, so you can have medical insurance, and so that you can pay for that high price medicine that you have to take. You know, a lot of y'all out there got high blood pressure, you got diabetes, you got all that stuff. But when we fight together, we win together. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak to you today.